So there are 4 locations where you can see your leads. The first one is text. Now this one's pretty self-explanatory. Whenever a lead comes through our system, you will receive a text, assuming you provided us with your cell phone number as your primary number on for the campaign. You will get a text with the name, phone number, and email of the lead. The second spot you will be getting the lead information is in email. And the third will be in a Google Sheet, and the fourth will be the high-level platform. Now, the only 2 important ones to check on a regular basis are the email and the high-level platform. The high-level platform is our automated follow-up and sales system. The Google Sheet and the text are more for you just to see that you're getting the leads and to have a place to refer to if you need to see a complete list of all of your leads put together. But the ones you want to be checking on a regular basis are the email and the high-level platform. So let's jump into what each one of these looks like. So we don't have to go over text because you'll just be receiving those on your phone. But here is what the back end of the email looks like. So you're going to log in to your email using the credentials that we sent over to you. So just log into Gmail using those. Now, within the email, you can see 2 pieces of information that are absolutely key. So where it says new veteran lead, these are the lead alerts. You can click into one of these and see the exact answers they gave to the questions on the quiz. So exactly when they're looking to get a home, exactly how much they're looking to get a loan for, their credit score, what % disability they were discharged with. All of that information is going to be in these emails. The second piece of information you're going to be looking for on these emails is the meetings. We have the ability for the leads to actually schedule meetings with you. Now, these are extremely important. These are as high intent as leads get, so make sure you're keeping up with these. You can see them because they say Calendly. It'll say new event, meeting with the lead name on March 5th, 2019. And you can click on this and get the details of the meeting. You can text them beforehand to confirm the meeting, and just make sure you show up to these because they are the most high intent leads you can get because they are going that extra step in scheduling with you. So those are the 2 pieces of information that are valuable in the email. That's why we have you check that. It's basically for more detailed information. If you want to check the Google Sheet, which again is more just for storage purposes, just search invitation here, and it'll say invitation to edit. You click on that, you hit open in Sheets, and that is going to open your spreadsheet. Now, the spreadsheet is, again, just a basic storage system. You have their name, you have their phone number, and you have their email address and credit score. Now, also, within this list, you have low credit. If you have in-house credit repair, share this sheet. You can hit File, Share it with your credit repair person. That way, they can start following up with the low credit leads and put them through credit repair. So that is all you need to know about the sheet. So again, to review, you will get text, which again aren't exactly important. You will get emails, which contain the extra details on the leads, and they also contain the meeting times that the leads schedule. You will have this Google Sheet, which is again just more of a storage system. And fourth, you have the high-level automation system, which I'm going to train you on now. Now, before you continue, you need to do 2 things. Number 1, go download our app, Go High Level. It's in the App Store. It's on Android. Go ahead and download that and sign in using the same email and password that you used to sign in to the email address. It's all the same login. So go ahead and download that and sign into there. Pause this video. Don't continue before you do that. Number 2, download our sales script beneath this video. We have been modifying and refining this script in collaboration with our top brokers that we've been working with over the past 6 years. So it's really, really tuned in to our sales system and the way our outreach works. I know that you may have very good internal sales processes already, but this one is very, very specifically tailored to the type of leads that we generate. So make sure you download that script, have it printed out for anybody who's going to be taking these phone calls. So do those things before you continue. So to access our automation software, you have two options. One, have the app on your phone, which you should be doing anyway, so you could respond to these leads as they text you, because you do need the app to do that. Or two, you can also be logged in on your desktop. I recommend using both, assuming you have a computer near you. So this is the place you go to log in on desktop. It's just gohighlevel.com. So we're going to go to that URL. And this is what that looks like. So this is just their main page. And you're going to hit login now. And you're going to, again, use the same credentials that we provided you to log into your email and everything else. And you're going to hit sign in. And this is what your dashboard is going to look like. Now, I'm going to explain to you what your responsibilities are, what you're supposed to be doing. But first, I want to show you what the campaign looks like. You won't need to worry about any of this, but it's good you know what's going on behind the scenes. So when a lead opts in, you receive an automatic phone call. 2 minutes after they opt in, you receive a phone call to your phone. Now, it's usually a number from the same area code as you. We purchase these numbers on our end. Sometimes it will be another area code in the state if they don't have one from your area code. But make sure that you're paying attention and watching for that number to call in. So you're going to receive an automated phone call from our system. It'll call you. It'll be like, hey, press 1 to connect with your lead. You're going to press 1 and it'll auto dial your lead for you. That way there's no manual follow-up. You don't have to be picking up the phone and dialing these numbers. You just receive these automated phone calls and call the lead back. Now, from there, if the lead doesn't answer, we have automated voicemails going out. We also have automated text messages going out to the leads that they can respond to, and I'll show you how to converse with them in a second. But they receive automated voicemails, automated text, and you receive more than one call per lead. We like to do around 9 calls in the first 3 days. That gets a really high connection rate. Currently, this campaign is sitting around a 50% connection rate, which is excellent. It means that this client is getting on in conversation with 50% plus of these leads. That's because it doesn't include any inbound calls. So this is the sequence that goes out. Multiple calls to you, which ask you to press 1 to connect with the lead. Multiple voicemails being sent out, and multiple text messages being sent out. Now, the voicemails happen multiple days in a row, and also they are dropped every couple weeks, which really picks up their stragglers and gets them to respond. So this is what's going on behind the scenes. This is the messaging that's going on behind the scenes that's going to start the conversations, which I'm going to show you how to communicate with next. So on this system, you have 4 responsibilities, 4 and only 4. The first one is to respond to text messages from within High Level. I'm going to show you how to do each of these after we go through them. Number 2 is to answer those automated calls I talked about, where when a lead comes in, it'll automatically call your phone and tell you to press 1 to connect with the lead. You have to be answering those automated calls. Number 3 is to answer any inbound calls from leads, because some leads will actually have your phone number and they'll call it directly, and you need to make sure you're answering those. These two are kind of the same thing. Basically, it boils down to be answering your phone as calls come through, because you will get, utilizing our lead system, you're going to get a lot more inbound calls than what you're used to. Number 4 is to keep your pipeline updated on High Level, which is our system to keep track of the leads, which I'll show you how to use. So let's go through each of these. Number 2 and 3 are pretty self-explanatory, but let's start with number 1. So on High Level, there's a Conversations tab. This shows you all of the text from your leads. This is them responding to the sequence, whether they're responding to a voicemail drop or a missed call or a text message. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of responses. And there's a recents tab up here, which is all the most recent ones, and you can hit load more. Or you can go to the all tab, which shows you all of your conversations. Now, none of these text messages should go unanswered for more than an hour. If somebody is texting you, it means they have their phone in their hand, they're curious to a certain extent as to what we're offering, and they need responses fast. For example, actually this turned into an inbound call, but for example, I have a question and it was left unanswered. You should be answering these very quickly and leading them to phone calls, because the goal of all of these is phone calls. Don't be sending them links to your website. Don't be sending them links to your contact information. Always be closing. Always be pushing them towards a phone call to discuss if they qualify for a VA loan. So to get to this tab, this is what your dashboard's going to look like. You go to conversations. On the phone, it's very similar, except the conversations tab is just a little tab at the bottom of the phone app. But either way, be checking this constantly throughout the day. Stay on top of this. Texting is the number one method of communication. Nowadays, people don't respond via email. People don't respond to phone calls as much. They will answer to a certain extent, which is why we have them. But texting is going to be your number one way to contact people, to develop rapport, and to get them on a phone call, which leads to a sale. So do not leave any of these neglected. Another thing you can see within the conversations tab is what has been said before. You can see the automated messages going out to them, and you can see the history. For example, these are inbound phone calls. This lead said this and then called our client and had a 40-minute conversation, which I imagine it went pretty well if it lasted 40 minutes. So you can see what's going on and what has gone on in terms of your communication, either automated or manual, to this client. So if I were to respond to this person, I would just type something in here and hit send. Same thing on the phone. You want to use it just like you would be using texting somebody. So to review the texting, be checking it throughout the day. Don't leave any text go unanswered for more than an hour. Even if you have to dedicate a person to stay on top of this, it's really, really important. And always be pushing these people towards a phone call. Now, for example, if somebody says, you can call me, don't be afraid to manually call them. Their phone number is right here on the mobile app. You have to click on their profile to see their phone number, but it's a very similar process. You don't have to completely rely on the automated calls in order to get in contact with these prospects. So if somebody says, call me, feel free to give them a call manually from your phone. So essentially, stay on top of this, keep texting them a lot, and push towards phone conversations so they can check their status. Another inbound call. So back to the responsibilities. So respond to text messages. Number 2, answer the automated calls. Again, that's very important. These take place of you having to manually reach out to these prospects. We automate the process as much as is possible. So make sure when you get those automated calls, you press 1 to connect with the leads. Sometimes they will answer, sometimes they will not. It does not matter. It's just part of the process. There's going to be a certain percentage that don't answer. There's going to be a certain percentage that do answer. You'll see a lot of times in conversations, they missed 2 calls, a voicemail was left, and then they called back and had a 45-minute conversation. So don't be discouraged if they don't answer phone calls. It's all part of the process. So step number 2, answer the automated calls. Step number 3, answer any calls from leads. Again, with our system, you're going to see a lot more traffic than what you're used to. So, for example, this inbound call, make sure you answer those. If you have a voicemail system on, don't provide us with your office phone number. It's better to provide us with your cell number to use for this system. For example, if the lead calls in and they get a standard front desk automated robo voice that's saying, hey, press 1 to connect with so-and-so, press 2 to connect with so-and-so, we see a lot of the times the lead just hangs up. So make sure you provide us with a phone number that directly connects with somebody. That's extremely important so you don't get leads hanging up. Because these inbound calls, there's a lot of them. Like I just clicked on another random one and here's another inbound call. That one's not. But answer calls from leads is the third responsibility. And number 4 is to keep your pipeline updated. So I'm going to show you where that is. So every time a lead responds to our system, number 1, it shuts off the system. So if anybody calls us, texts us, leaves us a voicemail, it shuts off the system. So nobody's going to get further communications from us after they're already in conversation. So once somebody's in the sales process, they're not going to keep getting text, emails, and voicemails. But anytime anybody responds, they get put in this tab, the Opportunities tab. You can find this on your phone as well. Now, it's extremely, extremely important to keep up with the Opportunities tab. So the first column is automated. Whenever anybody responds, they automatically get put into the responded column. From here, it is your responsibility to move them to wherever they are in the sales process. So if you can't help them for whatever reason, or if you can help them in the future, but not right now, move them to the Cannot Help tab. If you ran credit on them, move them to that tab. If you completed documents, move them to that tab. If they got pre-approved, move them to that tab, credit repair, and deal closed. Now, it's extremely important that you keep this updated because our targeting systems watch this page. We have this integrated with all of our targeting systems so that as you move people to these different columns, our software allows us to target more people like those. It'll look at the close column and target more people like those. It'll look at the pre-approval column and target more people like those. So it's extremely, extremely important for you to keep up with these leads as they move through this process. So you can access all of these on the phone as well, the Conversations and the Opportunities tab. Those are the only 2 tabs you have to worry about and have to spend time on with this software. So to review, respond to text messages either from the app or from desktop like I just showed you, answer the automated calls, answer inbound calls from leads, make sure you don't have some sort of robo voice system set up, make sure it directly connects with somebody, and keep your pipeline updated so we can adjust our targeting and you know exactly how many people you're getting pre-approved and closed every single month. So let's go over a few extra points and then we'll wrap this up. So over on high level, if you happen to contact one of these leads, not directly through the platform, like for example, if you were just to see this number to the side and call it with a separate phone, our system can't detect that, so it can't turn the sequence off for them. So make sure you go into the lead and hit this. What that'll do is turn off the sequence manually for them. So any way that your client reaches out to you, for example, if they just walk into your office and never reach out to you through the sequence, just go into the sequence or go into the, you can also go into contacts and go into leads and search their name. And then you can manually turn on the DND. Turning on the DND manually opts them out of all future messages. So that's what happens if you contact a lead outside of our systems and you need to make sure the sequence is turned off for them. Another very important note is that your login is case sensitive. So your email you log into this platform with, you can't capitalize any letters or it will not allow you to log in. Our login system is different than a lot of other sites and it does detect capitalization. So make sure you turn off capitalization when you're trying to log in. that should be the only issue you encounter while logging in. If you have any questions or any issues on following up or any thing you want to ask